Right. So from darkness, before we actually start out today's topic, I'll ask you a question. It's a really warm day. Any one of you would like to have a fresh coconut? Would be nice, isn't it? A cool, fresh coconut. Ask you a question, give you some a bit like a little tips in your real life situation. Do you know how to open or crack a coconut? Have you ever done it before? Do you know what the skill is? He knows how. So hopefully you will know how to do it also. So if you buy a coconut from the supermarket, it's normally look like this. You know, for a coconut, they have 3 holes on a coconut. The 3 holes is where you actually poke the straw in, and then you can drink the water from inside. Do you know where are those 3 holes for a coconut like this you bought from the supermarket? It's on the side, on the top, or on the bottom? It's actually on the bottom, because those 3 holes actually close the stem. So when you actually turn it around on the side, you see the 3 holes over there. So it look like someone's face, like the eyes and the mouth over there. And what you need to do to find those 3 holes, they're not equally in the hardness. So 2 holes are a bit harder, 1 hole is a bit softer. So if you poke it with just a chopstick, but this guy used a screwdriver, and you find 1 hole is a lot easier to poke. When you poke it, just get through, put your straw in, you can just drink straight away. Okay, now is version number 2. Get a more challenging task for you. How many of you likes durian? Not a lot. I know durian. Anyone likes durian? I don't like durian. Anyway, you like durian, yeah? You know how to open a durian? Such a spiky, hard fruit, right? We thought you're gonna break it, you're gonna hit the rock, you thought you're gonna like use knife to chop it, but actually not. It has a way to find the softest spot of a durian. It's where you can see the stars. You see the bottom of the durian, you follow the stars in the center, into one single point over there, there's a softest point. And this softest point is called a star point. You poke a knife in there, just really easy get in, and then you turn it, you just crack it open. Hard fruit like coconut or like durian, it can be open. God designed it in a way with a soft spot. So for every single person in the world too, you may find a hard-hearted person in this world. You find it so hard to reach out to, but God will create a circumstances and make that person have the soft spots just exposed, and then it can crack open, and God can get through that person inside the soft part of the heart. So we're going to share a person from the Bible is called Saul. You haven't heard about the story of Saul and Paul, the conversion experience? His name is called Saul in the beginning, and after he was converted, he's called Paul. So Saul was, he was well trained to be a Pharisee. But at that time, after Jesus resurrected and went to heaven, and the early church started and faced a lot of persecution. Saul was one of the most hard-hearted persecutor. He was one of the ones participating in stoning Stephen, and he was the one guarding the post because he was still a youth. He didn't actually go into the action. He was the cloth guard, watching the people actually killing the Christians. And then continue on, he persecuted a lot of Christians, put them into jail, and some of them actually been persecuted to death. And how hard person like this, like Saul? We say the Damascus road, why is we have this topic, is a conversion experience of Saul until he become Paul. So 6 of us are going to tell you how we change from, maybe some of us is not like a Saul, but I think I was, and then it become like a Paul today is standing and sharing with you what God has changed us in our life. As one day he is on his way to Damascus, saw a light from heaven, and he gone blind for 3 days. And Jesus was talking to Saul and said, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And instantly Saul knew that was Jesus. Miraculously, you ask, why? Lord. And Jesus asked him to walk 3 days. Someone is letting him 3 days. And when again to this place, he will see a person God already called, asked him to reach out to Paul. And asked him to reach out to Paul, so still Saul at the moment, and then he will have a conversion experience to him. But this is what the person said, Ananias. When God called Ananias to reach out to Paul, he said, Lord, I have heard from many about this man, how much harm he has done to your saints in Jerusalem. And here he has authority from the chief priest to bind all who call on your name. So Ananias, as a really obedient and also faithful Christian, he actually tell Jesus, are you choosing the right person? Do you really not know who Saul was? And ask me to go and reach out to these people. He come and persecute other Christians. He is our enemies. Are we Ananias? When we see people come to church, they may be really negative of our service, negative of our faith. I know some people come actually saying SDA is a cult. You guys doing this and that. Well, I saw online, and I'm going to checking you guys out. And instantly, sometimes we come in defensive mode and become like, okay, I want to protect our faith. I need to defend. And that person is not coming, not a friendly person. That person has no hope. He's determined not to actually be converted. He's determined to go against us. Would that be a natural instinct if someone comes to you and say, you're being really stupid to be a Christian? Are you willing to go to Saul in that case? And will you truly love Saul as your brother? I should share my conversion experience. First, I need to share about my background. I grew up from communist family because my grandfather is a communist, and he's a really well-respected man because he was chief in the village for, I think, 20 years. Basically, most people in the village belong to the same family anyway. We have really large family. Most of them with the same surname. So he was chief for like 20 years. We always looked up to him as like a chief of the family. My dad he had 4 sons. My dad is the oldest, the firstborn, and I'm the only son of my dad. So he has always big hope on me too. So my grandfather, he is not only a very capable man in his sphere, also he's a really educated man. Educated in what way? Because at that time, as his generation, most people cannot read. He can read, but he can only read from 1 to 10. So he's most educated among his like siblings. So he becomes the chief of the village. I thought when my dad told me about it, I was like, it's just like a joke. He said, and also another thing is also because your grandfather, that's what my dad told me, because your grandfather is the best looking. He has got biggest boat. You know, when my wife first came to visit my family, my grandfather was 80 years old. And my wife said, your grandfather is so good looking. I thought he's 80 years old. And even my mother-in-law said the same thing too. But, you know, my wife and my mother-in-law, after they said my grandfather is good looking, they finished it with one same sentence. They said, how come you don't like your grandfather? So, I like, okay, you don't need to be so honest. I don't only have a grandfather, also a grandmother too. There's a really wise man in the church. He is really wise. He said, Benny, I tell you one thing, that will actually give you, that will be important for the rest of your life. Remember this. So all the boys here, remember this. This uncle is called Uncle Tony. He told me, Benny, there's no ugly girls. They are only just pretty and prettier. So I asked him, okay, so is your wife, his wife is Auntie Mila. Is Auntie Mila pretty? And he's smiling and looked at me. He didn't say anything, really wise. So My grandmother is pretty. She's really pretty in my mind. She's pretty. Nothing wrong. So I think my dad is got more from my grandmother. I look more like my grandmother. So rather than my grandfather. So the point is this. My grandfather is good looking. My grandmother is pretty. So a combination of both, I'm pretty good looking. So that's why I figured it was one of my wives that you get are really the best. Anyway, okay, the joke finished. Let's come back to this. So I was growing up in a family that don't believe in God. So when it comes to the church, come to Gateway, how I come here, because one of my classmates studying in the master degree, he was from our church, from Gateway. He invited me to the church. I wasn't quite interested in the beginning, but because I was doing an assignment with him at that time, I was noticing he is a bit, he doesn't do any group meetings, only two of us on it, by the way. He doesn't do his assignment on Saturdays, on Friday night too. I said, why? He said, because I'm not supposed to. I need to go to church. But the assignment due in 4 weeks, and we have a really tight schedule. Remember, we're full-time students. So I told him that doesn't make sense. So after he invited me again, my picture is as Seventh-day Adventist is a cult. So I said, I'm going to come and rescue this guy because there's no God in this world. He must be brainwashed. So I came to this church. When I first came to church, it was in a Sabbath school. I sit in a Sabbath school. The person taught the Sabbath school was Tina Wong. So the topic I remember precisely is about healthy food, clean and unclean food. So when I was there, she was telling, okay, pork is unclean, this is unclean, that's unclean. I think I cannot order this. Basically, I can't eat anything I'm currently eating at that time. So I thought, wow, this definitely is a count. And then actually invited me to the care group. I thought, okay, I'm going to check out you guys, what else you actually done wrong. So I can actually write it down and then tell my friend, all these are wrong information. So I went to Google search and making sure I get all these points. These are not right either. However, when I came to the care group, the people are super friendly. I thought I didn't like this place, but eventually actually I liked it. Especially they pay so much attention to me. I have no friends in Australia, honestly, because they came here just for study. So instantly I have a huge group of friends, and they're really like spend time with me. I really enjoy the fellowship. So I started staying in there, and because I was really attentively listening to the sharing, because I want to find out the errors in there. So actually, they mistakenly why my intention of listening to so carefully and so concentrating on all the information. So actually, they thought I want to study the Bible. And when they asked me, when do you want to study the Bible? That was 3 months after in the care group. I said, no, I don't want to study the Bible. And they thought I was because I've become a bit shy. That's why they said no. And as care group at that time, she was a really smart lady. She was from Taiwan. She went back to visit her home, and then she came back with the Bible, bilingual Bible. You know, bilingual Bible is not easy to get in Australia here. It's a really pretty one, really nice and small Bible. And she showed me the Bible and said, I've got a new Bible. Benny, do you think it's a nice Bible? I said, it's a really nice Bible. And this Bible is for you. I thought, wow, you bought a Bible for me. I thought, wow, that's so special, so amazing. So she said, okay, do you want to write your name on the Bible? I said, am I allowed to? So I wrote my name on the Bible. I thought, wow, that's so special. And she asked everyone from the care group to sign their name on the Bible too. It said this special Bible to Benny. At that time, my care group South Bank care group South Bank care group writing over there. So I give the Bible to me and said, Benny, when are you going to have Bible study? What about next week? I said, I never said I'm going to have a Bible study. He said, you got a Bible. I thought you didn't realize there's a package. But can I return the Bible? He said, no, you got your name there. I think she's supposed to be a salesperson instead of become a care group leader. So I got into a care group, like a Bible study instantly the following week. And my Bible study was even with Tina and Pastor Fu. That made me feel really nervous. When I sit here in front of the two of them, I thought, wow, what the Bible study? That is so hard. It's not the content hard. It's just like two big people sitting there. I thought, wow, I need to making sure I'm really alert when they ask questions. So after a while, Pastor Fu was busy, Tina was busy, and sent another person that was Tommy Guo. If someone didn't know him. And later on, he went back to Hong Kong and he sent another two person that is Howard Chen serving the city now. Bobo Lam, he was a Bible worker for a time. So Bobo was from Hong Kong, Howard was from Taiwan, I'm from mainland China. So people are making fun of us, like, what are you guys doing? And they're talking about like Bible or political issues. So all three were sitting together. But after about half a year, and Bobo went to study in Newcastle, and how God became an expert and went to Hong Kong to work. So I lost all my teachers. And people thought, Benny is changing 5 teachers. I didn't change the teachers and didn't run away because I'm so hard to deal with. It's just they go away, God send them away for a reason. And I become, the rumor spread, Benny is a really hard student. So no one will take him as a Bible student. Anyway, but so much he want to take the hard task. He has such a burden for my study and for my spiritual well-being, want to really teach me to be a Christian, to have a conversion, and he come on board. And this person, he is going to share the last topic in our in the series. His name is called Joe Literaco, our elder Joe. Another one, I think some of you still know him too, Amin Yun. So these two want to pin me down at that time. So they came at Bible study, and one day they said, when do you want to have Bible study? I wasn't quite really that keen because I actually run through the 28 fundamentals twice already before they approached me. So I thought, well, I know all these fundamentals really well. Why I'm doing another time? I just couldn't get in here. I just thought, well, I know all the basics, but what else you can teach me? But they said, well, pray about it, whether you want to have the study. God has chosen us today to approach people who are coming as a determined person and said, I will not be a believer. One day, when God will move their heart, open up the soft spot, and then enter their heart. In Acts chapter 9, verse 15 to 16, but the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, for to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. When I had my Bible study with Emin and Joe after my prayer, I thought, well, I don't even really believe there's a God while I'm praying, but I pray anyway. I thought, well, there's a thought coming to mind. I should have to study. Give them one last chance. Because I feel, at the same time, I enjoy the fellowship. On another side is, I feel guilty. I'm taking so much of people's time. And they actually want to study the Bible with me because they thought I'm interested. But internally, I said, I'm not ever interested. I feel like I'm scamming them to spending their time. I thought, well, the last study, if I still have study, if I try to open my heart to have the study, and it still doesn't work, I know this definitely is not for me. I don't want to waste their time. I will leave the church. So that's my determination at that time. And when they had Bible study with me, my heart was touched. Each time they asked me to pray, this time, finally, I was really willing, open to pray. And I asked, God, if you're real, please open my heart so I can really put the things into here, not just here. I know all the knowledge, but I don't know why it matters. So after I did study one after the other, I come to a point that I really see it makes sense. And each time I pray, when I pray more and more, I find my heart was really touched even in the prayer. When my Bible teacher, Joe and Emin, asked me, Benny, do you want to get baptized? From here, I said, no. From here, I said, yes. So I told them, let me think about it. So they've been praying and praying for me for quite a long while. I don't know how long, but they've been praying all the time because they knew I was not an easy student. And that's why the two of them actually want to come to me. If you know them, they have with different personality. Emily is a really logical person, and Joe is a person that is have lots of like a heart to reach people. I'm not saying Emily doesn't, but Joe is a really soft person. So they approach me in a different way. So with these two brothers, I was opening my heart, and as church when I was 18, he said, and immediately there fell from his eyes something like scales, and he received his sight at once, and he arose and was baptized. That was the experience with Saul when Ananias touched his eyes can see again. Maybe God was sending people to your life and help you to open your eyes and let go of stubbornness. When you come and see someone is so hopeless that it's not even possible that person will become a believer. But you know, in God, there's nothing is hopeless. God is full of hope. That was 2004 when I was in Kyoto, when I studied my Bible study around that time. It was amazing. I want to look at that. I thought, wow, I didn't believe like I was so young before. But and that was a time when I studied with Joe and Emin. And now they actually come to the critical point. Because I come to the Easter camp in 2005. And 2005 was a special time because the time was Emin's wife's baptism at that time. Oh, his fiance still at that time. And I knew they were hoping for me to actually stand up for the baptismal appeal for that particular Easter camp. Why? Because Joe actually wrote the song. He composed the song for the baptism. But he actually made me to sing that song for that baptism. So, and then last night, the last line that is a solo, basically without a music, is, Lord, I want to follow you. He wrote that line just for me. And I knew that song is actually for me to just sing for someone's baptism. So I was like, I doesn't want to sing that song. And in the end, they convinced me because they said, okay, Benny, can you sing this song? I said, I can sing it, but I don't want to sing it. And they asked me, why you not want to sing it? I said, many other people can sing this song in the cave. Why you ask me? They said they want to have a male voice. And you compare with other males in the cave at that time, who else can sing better than you? I was like really flattered. I said, okay, I think I'm the best singer. So I just say yes then in the end. But honestly, somehow at that time, the new kid leader, he sing out of tune quite often. So I don't want to tell you what his name was, but yes. So in the end, I sang that song. I was really touched in the time I sang a song. But in here, I said, I don't want to stand up. Lord, I don't want to stand up. It's still, I don't know why. This is touching me, but here you still don't convince me. When in the Easter camp was an intense time. I think most of you have been in Easter camp, right? You know, in this Easter camp, this year Easter camp was last year was a quite relaxed camp. We don't have 3 or 4 topics nowadays. Back in the old days, we have 6 topics, sometimes 8 topics in the Easter camp. It's like intensive evangelism. So it was like the last day on a Sunday lunch section. And that was a time I was extremely tired because we got up at 6 o'clock in the morning and went to sleep maybe like 12, even 1 o'clock at night, all the way through. So I was still in my mid-20s. So I was like, still a youth at that time. So I feeling about lunchtime, I was hungry, was sleepy. So, and then the speaker was making a big appeal. If you've ever been a speaker for Easter camp, I give you tips. Don't make an appeal like this. He was making an appeal and said, this is an appeal for you personally. Don't feel shy and don't think people are judging you. So I want to ask you all close your eyes when I'm making an appeal. So when you're really sleepy and hungry, when you close your eyes and the speaker making like 10 minutes appeal, what will happen? I think half the people should start falling asleep and actually making an appeal. So that's why people actually locking their head. They're not agreeing, just like sleeping. As making an appeal, as an appeal, actually quoting the verse from Revelation chapter 3, verse 16. He said, I'm standing at the door, I'm I'm knocking. If who is hear me open the door, I will come and start with him. And he changed to when he paraphrase it and said, okay, who want to stand up now? And we will have the meal together. That was a appeal. And and you guess what happened, right? Because if you know me, I was a really big eater. So I will have a top 4 big eaters ranking in the gateway back then. I was ranking number 2. I won't tell what ranking number 1. That is a doctor. he can eat the whole cow. I can eat maybe 3/4. So I was so super hungry. So I was like really sleepy too. So I fell asleep. And when I fell asleep, and I heard that voice is a little bit like, oh, gonna have meal time. So lunchtime. I opened my eyes. I saw my housemate. He's not here today. His name is Evan. He stood up for baptism appeal. So then I asked him, why you stand up? I looked around. Oh, everyone stand up. I thought, so okay, lunchtime, right? So I stood up too. And then Elder Joe running from like 100 meters away, running towards me and crying, like, hugging me. I was still half asleep. And I looked at him and said, are you that hungry? I was like hugging me. It's like sliding everywhere over my body. It's like, oh, that's disgusting. So I was pushing him away. Why are you doing? And then my other teacher, Edmund, right? He is logical and also really calm guy, right? Walking to me and patting my shoulder and saying, Benny, is that rational or emotional? I said, I have no idea. Oh, well, when I record that experience, it's not a joke. Actually, it's not a joke. When I record that experience, actually, when I was half awake, I heard a voice ask me, Benny, stand up. Not in English, not in Chinese, was in my dialect. You know my dialect is from my village. My village has less than 500 people. And that is 500 people speaking that dialect. We're coming from one tribe, from one of the 100 years ago, someone migrated there, and we're the offsprings of that person. And what's a famous person in China? Do you want to talk that person? I'd like to know, but we're not quite that related after that many years anyway. And we're so that dialect no one speak. And that was a guy's name, a guy's voice asked Benny, stand up. So I stood up. It's like a comment. I stood up and I thought, wow, why I'm standing up? My head thought, wow, many mistakes can I sit down? But my heart, I felt finally I find peace after that. More than a year struggling in my heart, I said, I don't want to stand. God will bypass here and come to here in a very unique and special way. You know, I was baptized in 2005. And last year, when I went to Manado mission trip, I think some of you were there in the Manado mission trip. And then after I share on my conversion experience, as you heard just now, and Elder Joe came to me and said, Benny, now I finally got my picture complete. You know, you're missing another half of the picture. I said, what is another half of the picture? He said, while you were sleeping there, I was praying outside. I've been crying to the Lord and said, God, I've been putting so much effort and so much heart on this guy. That's me. I'm praying for his conversion, his baptism. But nothing worked. He saw me sleeping when I was appealing. He was like, I can't see any hope. And God said, there is always hope. And God, with a wind, opened up his Bible. Miraculous, that's what he shared with me. And the Bible comes to the book of Acts. And that was the verse he saw from the book of Acts. To open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. And because that encouragement, he prayed in God and said, God, I will surrender to you for the rest of my life. If you really can work through me with this guy. Show me a miracle, and I know you are true. So he came back. He was standing at the door, and that was the time I stood up. And my standing up is an answer of prayer. I started sharing my conversion experience in that part because I thought, well, I don't want to encourage people and saying, okay, getting baptized is a joke. But no, every single person have baptismal conversion experience, very unique, very different. For me, it's not about the facts. For me, about the heart. Maybe I still cannot get all the 28 fundamentals or the hundreds of different like truth in the Bible can be practically relevant to my daily life as yet. But this is the journey to walk on. But God said, I have a plan for you, Benny. Your heart already touched. The knowledge already equipped you. You are ready to make a decision. How many of us have been delaying because we don't want to make a decision? Because my mind telling me that doesn't make sense, or that's not the best benefit for me to do it today. While your heart is telling you, I should. And I believe you, God. Why delay? Paul wrote in Acts, he said, having therefore obtained help of God, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come, that Christ should suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from dead, and should show light unto the people and to Gentiles. That's basically what I'm doing today. I share with you what God changed me. And Jesus is real. And God will answer prayer in a very different way. And God will have your walk with you very differently. You may get inspiration from others, but your journey with God is a one-on-one experience. It's not a side product of someone else's. It's not a continuation of parents. It's your own unique journey with Him. No matter how hard this person is going to be, you think it's going to be like a coconut, right? It's going to be a durian. Not only hard, also smelly. But God bypassed that part. Come to softest spot. From here unto here. And that conversion will happen. You know, very often we are like Saul in that 3 days journey in darkness. We don't know where this journey is heading to. But God already prepared someone to come to meet you. And that miracle will happen. To open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light. And from the power of Satan unto God. And they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them, which are sanctified by faith. That is in me.